to the paper review now, see what the headlines are across Nigeria. And I have two lawyers to help us make sense of all of this. You know, they are learned. We, the rest of us, are just following. I have Jide Ologun here with me in the studio. Jide, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning,
Great.
Mike.
And I have Tunji Abdulhamid here as well. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
So at least having two of you, I am, nobody can declare me wanted right now. Well, just kidding. All right, the national economy is where we start from this morning. Autogas, federal government working with CBN on conversion kits. That's the Silver is saying that. It's the Minister of State for Petroleum. Downstream operators to get soft loans to fix their filling stations. Okay, that's on the economy side. Leadership newspaper is next, and it says Nigeria's debt profile to hit 36.3 trillion naira as PNB seeks fresh 2.3 trillion naira loan. Nigeria's debt profile to hit 36.3 trillion naira as President Muhammadu Buhari seeks fresh 2.3 trillion naira loan. Okay, loan. We'll talk about this as we get along. Business Day is next. Pension contributors navigate maze of PFAs for better returns. Okay, that's the Business Day. First News, on the other hand, is saying alleged 10 billion naira fraud. Fresh crisis hits PDP as EFCC summons top officials. A commission writes secondus to release concerned officials for questioning. Okay, all that on the front page of the First News. Daily Times is next. Senate cautions Buhari on appointments. Senate cautions Buhari on appointments. That's the Daily Times newspaper. Okay, from there, let's go to the Blueprint. The Blueprint says, as workers' protest thickens in Kaduna, El-Rufai declares Wabba others wanted, sacks nurses, KASU lecturers. All right, this is national discourse right now. Thugs attack workers, as Wabba says, we're on top of our game. And governor orders fresh recruitment of nurses, negotiate with workers. APC governors, ACF, beg El-Rufai, to tread cautiously. We will certainly look at this as we get along. Okay. From there, let's go to Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune says he's focusing on Kaduna. Thugs attack labor. El-Rufai sacks nurses. And government declares Wabba others wanted. Nupeng set for showdown with the federal government. Labour threatens to shut down power installation from tomorrow. The federal government cautions El-Rufai Labour on crisis. NGF sues for peace. Okay, that's the Nigerian Tribune. Daily Trust. Let's go to Daily Trust now. Kaduna shut down. Federal government intervenes as El-Rufai Labour stick to their guns. And governor declares NLC president wanted, sacks nurses. Come and arrest me, Wabba dares. He has no powers to declare anyone wanted. Falana is saying this, senior advocate of Nigeria. Resolve impasse. Governors, PDP, ACF are all commenting on this. Certainly, we'll be talking about this as we get along. Now, Daily Sun is next. Buhari seeks France help to fight Boko Haram. Says insurgents exploiting COVID-19 pandemic to push into Nigeria. NAFDAC certifies J&J vaccine safe. Okay, that's on the front page of the Daily Sun. From there, let's go to This Day newspaper. Analysts differ on Buhari's quest for fresh 2.3 trillion naira external loan. National Assembly considers request and APC mortgaging nation's future, says the PDP. Okay, this is This Day. News Direct says disquiet over federal government's 2.34 trillion naira external loan request. A request captured in 2021 budget. The DMO is saying this. Okay, that's the News Direct. The Guardian is next, and Guardian says fossil fuels divestment may halt. Okay, by halt $150 billion oil gas projects. That's the Guardian. And then Vanguard, which is the last one here, is saying review NIN policy for UTME now. Senate tells JAMB and NIMC. Okay, candidates' parents laud Senate's intervention. JAM's inclusion of NIN for UTME registration inconsiderate. Ifeanyi saying this, and back and forth there with the various riders there. Okay, these are the headlines we're looking at right now. Let's get into the discussion now. I have with me two lawyers, Jide Ologun as well as the Tunji Abdulhamid. Gentlemen, what's going on in Kaduna is of great concern to everyone because there are likelihoods that it could snowball into the nation, especially when you hear comments from Nupeng saying they could, shut down, petroleum activities, and then the queues might be back, not just in Kaduna this time around. But let's start from the issue of declaring the NLC president wanted by the governor. Femi Falana, the senior advocate of Nigeria, has said the governor doesn't have the right to do that. I wonder what you make of this. Let's start from there, Jide.
The allegation of the governor is economic sabotage and destruction of public infrastructure, and we have to establish that, benchmarking it with unionism, because the Nigerian labor law even specifies that in your contract of employment, you cannot prevent the employee from joining a labor union or force the employee to join the labor union. And the labor union is a front to project the interests, the terms and conditions of workers. And as you have it for the employees, you have it for the employers. Though the military, police, customs, and some specialized employment relationships may not be unionized. So and in this case now, we have a similar scenario to the NSAS protest. There are allegations that thugs came attacking the NLC protesters, and which brought in the probably the criminal angle. They let the governor go after the thugs. Who are the thugs who are coming to attack? And you can see now how the economic activities in the state have been paralyzed, and he is standing a very stiff ground. Though he has an argument also, you need an effective workforce that can be sustained. And with the dwindling revenue of the country, Kaduna State may not be able to carry, moribund workers. And for him, he would rather provide to the larger spectrum of the society. But that argument also is a different ball game entirely. In industrial relation, there is a way you handle that relationship, whether you are terminating or you are dismissing. And if you look at the International Labour Organization, that came up in 1919, the approach is to protect the interest of the employees, to ensure justice, equity, and dignity to the workforce, to have productivity. So I think, like he's been advised now, there are several other amicable and negotiative ways of handling this than being still, because right now Kaduna is paralyzed, and that shows us that we have a vulnerable economy. So if he sits down to look at how much it has cost the state in the last few days, he should rather backpedal rather than insisting that there may not be a going back, just like he said that he was not going to negotiate with bandits, and bandits are still carrying out their nefarious activities. So we need to come together and reason together.
All right, now Tunji, the governor of Kaduna State has sacked all nurses below the grade of level 14, sacked all of them, and has ordered that the Ministry of Health should seek vacancies or open the vacancy and seek application from fresh people who will fill in that space. What impact will this have generally on the health? Because it looks like it's anyone who is going to be sick would not say because there is strike, so let the sickness not come or something. No one has the powers to do that. How counterproductive is this?
I think to me the step being taken by the governor is laughable, and is not the way to go as far as I'm concerned. The strike what has led to the strike that we have now, or the protest by the labor that we have now, is accusing the governor of not following due process. The governor has no right to just sack anybody, a civil servant. There are procedures, there are rules to be followed, and that's what the laborers are saying. If I understand it, laborers are not saying don't sack your worker if you want to sack them, but follow the due process. There are procedures to be followed. That is the point they are talking about now. And sacking these nurses now, as far as I'm concerned, no due process has been followed. That is exactly what they are fighting over, and that is you are doing the same thing. So if the high-handedness or being difficult will not change anything, the governor should just realize that, look, he is in position to cater for people, not for himself. If you are in a position of authority and you have a policy or you have a program that you think will benefit the society or your people, and your people are saying, we don't want it, or they are saying, or majority of them, or some of them say, this is not the way to go, we don't want it, even though you may believe that it's good, you have to back down and accept what they are saying, even if you don't accept. But if you cannot deal with that, the next thing to do is to resign and say, look, I can't deal with this. This is what I believe will change the society. In as much as you are not following it, I resign. It's not to say, I am standing, I'm not going to. A governor or a person in authority should not say, this is a policy, there is no going back. No! You are not there for yourself. You are not authority on your own. You are put in position to cater for people. And if what you are doing are not supported by those people, no matter how good those things are, you need to follow what they are saying. If you are not satisfied, you resign. That is the only option. Not to say, you see, that is the dance studying the governor did when those people were kidnapped. Unfortunately, some of them were killed. At the end of the day, what happened? There was a negotiation on the grant for those who have been released to be released. So you see, the way the governor is going about it will not help the matter. It will only make the matter more aggravated. And then so sacking the nurses, you now recruit now. How many days will they use to train? How many weeks or days or months will it take them to familiarize themselves with the situation on ground? So are you going to be risking the health of the people by using people to train
training on the job?
So these are the issues. So, and the sacking this is to prolong the strike, because what they are saying is that you can't sack people just like that. Follow the due process. As people have been following this one now, no. It's not just like, it's not a private business that you can just wake up. Even in private business, if you don't follow the certain due processes, like fair hearing or whatever, he has the right to go to court and challenge his termination of his appointment. We are not talking about civil service, which has a regulation that must be followed before a person can be sacked. So the governor should tread gently. What I expect the governor to do is to call the labor and discuss with them. If they didn't just start the strike suddenly. There were information that that will be strike. There are notices. Why can't you call them and say, let's discuss, what is the issue? You see, the aspect of people seeing, those in authority, seeing anybody opposed to their policy or program as enemy will not help any society. And that's what we've been having. Once a person in authority has a policy or authority or particular program, and you are bringing out defects in those programs, they see you as enemy. They see you as. So we need to be tolerant and look at other people's opinion.
All right, now, Jide, a situation where I'd like us to look at El-Rufai's position, the governor's position. Someone was saying it's a difficult time to be an El-Rufai right now. Now, from his perspective, he's saying that, especially when tests is conducted or carried out on some civil servants and they don't stand the competence test, that it doesn't augur well for the kind of state that he wants to move forward. So he from his perspective, or in his own opinion, there are lots of people who are, sapping resources from the state and not being able to replicate or reciprocate with the quality scale, quality contribution and all of that.
Returns on investment.
Returns on investment. Looking at it from that window, how challenging, how complicated?
I quite commend him, and I would like to locate it within the macro concept. Some of us have been complaining. You remember the quota system in this country, which has produced, high level of ineffectiveness. These are the symptoms now. Just like when we started grooming Almanjiris and we are complaining about bandits now. So you need an effective workforce. And I think maybe he has studied the Singaporean template, where it's all about meritocracy and you must deliver on assignments that are given unto you. But if he has woken up, this is not the first time he's doing a similar thing. There was a time he laid off teachers because they could not justify their being there. But how did they get employed? It's what we are saying. For political reasons, you bring mediocres into the system. And when you are not achieving the desired result, you want to hammer them out. It doesn't work that way. There are procedures. So can we now decide that we go back not just to Kaduna State, to the central system of governance in Nigeria and establish meritocracy? Lee Kuan Yew, that translated Singapore from third world country to first world country, embarked on it. That let's have a brilliant, vibrant workforce that can deliver, not just those who will come, receive salary. So I agree with him in that direction, but it's a bigger assignment. And now the argument on the other side is that, look at the economy. Sir, it's in the news this morning that if the fresh loan of 2.3 trillion naira that the federal government is approaching the Senate for is granted, then we'll be in the threshold of about 36.3 trillion naira total indebtedness. And I know that in March 2015, our total indebtedness was about 12.12 trillion naira. So multiply 12.12 by 2. So already we have gone, I don't know the percentage to use,
more than 100%.
Interestingly, we understand that inflation came down to 18.2%. It came down. You see, interestingly, we may be getting ready to buy fuel at the rate of 300 naira from the projections we are getting. Interestingly, NNPC is telling us that there may not be money to share to state. So we have chronic economic crisis within the system. And now you are pushing these people out. Even the minimum wage of Nigeria now, which is 30,000 naira, if you benchmark it to the exchange rate, dollars, it's just about $6, Mr. Mike. If you're in the US, you want to buy an apple, you need about $5. So that means you are left with $1. If you like apple, to take care of your family throughout the month. And we are complaining about crime in the society, of banditry, of kidnapping. So you need to look at Nigeria, whether you're at the state level or wherever, as a business project. Are we still viable? What can we do? Can we now begin to work on electricity? Can we begin to build refineries? Can we begin to invest in education rather than fighting education? Can we begin to implement our laws, enforce our laws, to push out the bandits or wherever they came from, and re-energize the economy of Nigeria to be more productive?
Right.
And then we can create more employment. And you may now be talking about moving people from one sector of employment to another, which is what should be the essence of right-sizing. But when you just wake up one day and realize that the people your predecessors brought into office are, devourers, or they are just parasites, it won't fly that way. Now, may I just ask you, can you put it in monetary terms? What has been lost in Kaduna State in the last few days? So we need to be, we need to engage what I call economic wisdom.
I think the governor may be doing the right thing, but he's doing it in the wrong way.
Okay.
The governor, I advise the governor to go and check Section 20 of the Labour Act to know what to do if you want to sack people. The labor, you need to carry the labor along, you need to carry the representative of the workers along, and you need to make provisions for their severance package and all
package.
Those are the things
if you're laying anyone off.
Those are the things the laborers are fighting for. They're not saying don't sack them. Follow the process.
Okay.
Go and check Section 20 of the labor law and do the needful.
Okay, and that's going to be a lot of money if you want to settle all those
So
pieces in the severance package.
It's your choice.
All right, we have to leave you here now. Tunji Abdulhamid, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And Jide Ologun, thank you very much for coming.
God bless
Thank
Nigeria.
you. Right.